Good day. This is the Winning Margin. I'm Monica McCoy, political strategist. So today I have a bit of an interesting story to talk to you about. I want you to think about that there are two things that happened this week from an economic perspective. One, we had a very strong week on the stock market. So anyone who has been following the stock market this week realizes that it was a very strong week. On the same tone, I want to talk about the bond market, which told a completely different story. And one of them is true for most people. So yes, I do want to focus on the fact that Wall Street did hit record highs this week. In the same week, the government's long-term borrowing costs climbed to their highest point in nearly 20 years. So yes, nearly highest point in 20 years for long-term borrowing. Now, these are two headlines that are pointing in opposite directions. So here's why this split really matters. I want you to think about the fact that as much as we want to celebrate the stock market still is not accessible to most Americans. So many Americans do not have anything invested in the stock market. But when it comes to risk around borrowing, that hits everyday Americans because that's impacting things such as your mortgage, it's impacting credit card rates, it's impacting whether a small business owner can expand their business based on the cost to borrow money. So just think about the fact that one number is a market number and the other one is ones that everyday families are looking at and feeling the pinch. So why does this matter? Well, we're coming up on the midterm elections, and the candidates who are able to really translate from an economical perspective, that's why really understanding economics is so important, really be able to translate affordability, the affordability message over the next few weeks is going to be the candidate that can truly relate to voters. Because here's the thing, if you come to someone and cite the stock market as the reason to vote for you, that individual is probably going to check out on you. Because voters literally, they want to really understand how are you impacting affordability when it comes to them being able to buy their groceries, them being able to afford to pay their mortgage, them being able to make sure that they're able to expand to small business owners or pay their credit card payments. So certainly it's a celebration on one end with the stock market, but we really want to also make sure that we're paying attention to the bond market. So I will be paying attention very closely to candidates as they're connecting with voters over this final sprint to really make sure that who's really been able to explain this message. Because here's the thing, most of us haven't taken courses in economics. And so if you're unable to translate what's going on in the American economy in a way that really connects with voters, then that is going to be a sign of really putting your message at a really competitive disadvantage. Voters want to hear why they should care, why you are going to be the person who actually listens and goes and actually puts viable solutions in place. So here's my margin note for you this week. When the headlines and the kitchen table disagree, I want you to believe the kitchen table, because the thing is that this is where elections are decided when voters feel like the messaging connects to what they're experiencing at their kitchen table on an everyday basis. I'm Monica McCoy, political strategist. Remember that margins are built. Go build yours. I look forward to seeing you on Monday.